I'm Nate. Today let's look at The Tales of the Empire, Season 1, Episodes 4, 5, and 6, Devoted, Realization, and The Way Out. In this episode, former Jedi Barriss Offee finds her way after she is rescued from prison following Order 66. Written by Matt Michnovitz and Nicolas Anastasio, Episodes 4, 5, and 6 were released on May 4th, 2024 on Disney+. Like the Tales of the Jedi miniseries, this series follows two characters and their journey. The first three episodes focused on Morgan Elsbeth, while these last three episodes focus on Barriss Offee. In the Clone Wars series, Barriss was a former Jedi Padawan who became disillusioned with the Jedi Order and helped frame Ahsoka Tano for a bombing at the Jedi Temple. Episode 4 starts on Coruscant, where Barriss Offee watches the Jedi Temple burn from her prison cell. Soon she gets a visitor who offers her a new life. She is taken to the Fortress of the Inquisitors, where she trains under the Grand Inquisitor. As part of her initiation test, she fights a duel to the death against one of her former Jedi friends, whom she kills by using a force choke. Throughout the episode, Barriss is conflicted on this new opportunity. She opposed the Jedi because she felt they were murderous and corrupt, but this dark version of the Jedi Order doesn't seem to be any different. Rather, it's far worse. Religion plays a huge part of the Star Wars universe. With the original trilogy, we got good versus evil, and we saw how corruption of the soul by turning to the dark side can ruin someone. It was a straightforward, two-sided portrayal of religion. In the prequels, more Jedi characters were introduced. There were some not-so-good Jedi, as well as corruption of the tenets of the Jedi Order. And here, with Barriss Offee, we see that struggle play out. Her path is representative of the irreligious path that so many people take in our own world. Regardless of whether someone grows up in the church, outside the church, or in a religion other than Christianity, the path one takes in rejecting the call to faith in God's higher power is not just filled with doubt. Rejection of faith is often laced with a personal belief that one is smarter and more enlightened than God and the act of religious conformity. Faith does not corrupt, though, nor can faith be corrupted. However, an unrepentant heart that assumes it knows better is the playground of fools. Episode 5 starts as Barriss and Lynn, the fourth sister, drop out of hyperspace on a mission to find and kill a Jedi who is hiding out. They land on the planet and press a village for information. The fourth sister, Lynn, is aggressive and angry while Barriss is kind. She eventually gets the location of the Jedi from a child. Barriss and Lynn head into the mountains to find the Jedi. As this story moves along, we see Barriss struggle with her place. The Sith offer a different worldview than the Jedi, but Barriss isn't good with either of them. In the real world, some people leave the church only to find the thing they were running from still staring at them in the face. Barriss saw corruption in the Jedi, but she made the mistake of projecting the traits of the worst Jedi onto the rest of the Jedi Order. This is the mistake that many make in religion as well. Even though we are led to believe that the problem is religion itself, as both the Jedi and the Sith are supposedly two sides of the same coin, the real darkness is Barriss's unwillingness to see the darkness in her own heart. The writing for this episode is really good, but I wouldn't expect anything less from a writer like Matt Michnovitz. However, it has some significant problems. Much of the conversation surrounding the episode was about how gender pronouns were used. Because of the pronouns, the dialogue suddenly became clunky and breaks the flow of the episode. Language and syntax give us a means to communicate. We can't read each other's minds or experience life outside of our own souls. But if we can speak the same language, we can attempt to understand each other. We need the rules and the meaning of the words of a language to be universally understood and rigid. Otherwise, we risk losing the common ground that language provides. A good example of this concept is traffic rules. If we all believe that a green light means go, but someone wants to change it up and have red mean go, and they are allowed to do so, then we know that a disaster is bound to happen. Furthermore, if the green light people are told they are being unrealistic and ridiculous for wanting to keep order, they will eventually become resentful and their trust in authority will break down. Likewise, allowing the words or rules of language to become fluid or arbitrary degrades a society's ability to communicate with itself and foster trust and acceptance. Episode 6 starts on an unknown ice planet where Barriss Offee has hidden herself from the Empire and established herself as a healer for the locals. A couple arrives with their infant child, whom they say the Empire tested and determined to have Force abilities. Barriss tells them that the Empire will no doubt come to take the child to train in the same way that the Jedi came and took her away to train in the ways of the Jedi. The meeting is interrupted by the news that a visitor is approaching. It turns out to be Lynn. Barriss advises the family to escape on her ship. The plot moves into the nearby ice caves where Barriss's attendants and the family escape. Lynn becomes lost as Barriss hopes the struggle will open her eyes to the evil within her. The struggle pushes Lynn to her breaking point and she lashes out and accidentally stabs Barriss. The episode is decently written and its outcome is somewhat earned. It adds to the overall arch of Barriss Offee in that it concludes Barriss's journey from one end of the Force spectrum to the other, and then to what the production staff want us to see as the middle of the road between dark and light. The episode wants us to see Barriss as a fully enlightened Force wielder who has found peace by rejecting cultural norms in order to find true religious devotion and compassion. It wants us to believe that dark and light are opposite ends of the Force spectrum that mirror each other yet oppose each other like the polar ends of a magnet. The episode further wants us to believe that the middle is the better option. Disney Star Wars has been trying to set us up for the concept of the Grey Jedi for a couple of years now, with the Rise of Skywalker and the Ahsoka series. But what do the Grey Jedi really represent, and are they really superior to a Jedi or even a Sith? I would argue that Grey Jedi would not only be inferior, but they would drastically lack the skill needed to go head-to-head with a Jedi or a Sith. The Grey Jedi represent the growing distaste for all things religious. In the postmodern world, religion is looked down upon as non-academic and the root of many problems in the world. The Grey Jedi are the irreligious and pluralists who believe that their own intellectual endeavors and moral conclusions are far superior to anything religion could ever propose. Within the Star Wars universe, this does not translate very well. In a fictional universe, heroes and villains need to have personal needs and goals that are weighed against the rules of the fictional world. In Star Wars, strength is derived from the Force, but to get to a supreme level of power in the Force, one needs to have discipline, either complete adherence to the light side or complete adherence to the dark side. If there was a middle ground or a rejection of both the light and dark tenets of devotion, in lieu of a pick-your-own-path type of devotion, then the full benefit of religious discipline cannot be attained. In the Star Wars universe, a fully trained and fully devoted Jedi is more powerful than any Sith at any level can ever be, but to achieve such skill, one would need to commit at a level that would only produce the requisite results after years of experience and disciplined training. This is why Anakin, though powerful, was unable to achieve the rank of Master. Only Yoda and Qui-Gon are thought to have achieved this level of power. As a production company, if Disney Star Wars were to introduce a Grey Jedi character that is more powerful than any Jedi, they would do so at the peril of the franchise. It would upend the significance of Yoda, Obi-Wan, Luke, Vader, Palpatine, and so on. In the end, Barriss Offee ends up a loner on a wasteland of a world. She is only able to use the Force to heal people, which is what I would expect from a Grey Jedi. The only real thing that she does offer Lynn is her compassion. Lynn refuses to be known by her given name, Lynn, instead wanting to go by her Inquisitor name, Fourth Sister. This is interesting considering the drama over the use of pronouns. The main thrust of Barriss's hope is to get Lynn to accept who she has always been and reject the identity that she's taken on, which falsely gives her power. But one does not need to be a Jedi, a Sith, or a Grey Jedi to do this. Overall, these 3 small episodes had good writing, but it's clear that Disney Star Wars needs to look more at the concept of the Grey Jedi. If they keep going in the direction they are going, their world building and continuity issues will become too big to fix. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and if you like the content and the deeper discussion into the themes found in Star Wars, please hit the like button and subscribe to keep me in your feed.